Before we get into the compound interest, let's have a brief review of simple interest. In simple interest, when we have a principal amount P, after the first year, the amount will be principal plus certain interest calculated based on this principal. Then for the second year, it is principal plus 2 times the interest. And for the third year, it is principal plus 3 times the interest. So the amount which was initially taken will remain constant. Only the interest gets added up. Unlike this, in compound interest, when we take a certain amount as principal, after the first year, it will be principal plus interest based on the first principal. So that is I. But for the second year, the interest will not be I, it will be some I2, that is interest calculated on principal as well as the interest. And for the third year, this will be some I3. So as we proceed, the interest is actually compounded. I hope you are able to make out the difference. Now let's get into the formula. In compound interest, amount equals principal into 1 plus r by 100 to the power t, where a is the amount and p is the principal taken, then r is rate of interest and t is time for which the amount has been taken. Now for this, if you want to calculate the compound interest, it is basically amount minus principal. Therefore this is p into 1 plus r by 100 power t minus p. So when you take the p common, it is 1 plus r by 100 power t minus 1. So this particular formula we will be using in most of the questions. And one more important point to be noted, the above formula is applicable only when interest is compounded yearly. That means interest is calculated year to year, but it is not compulsory that in the question it will be yearly. It could be half year or quarterly or monthly. So let's also learn what will be the other formulae. If the interest is compounded half yearly, then the formula for the amount is A equals P into 1 plus R by 200 into 2t. So what happened is basically time has been changed to 2t and the rate has been changed to R by 2. Now if it is quarterly, then A will be P into 1 plus R by 400 into 40, and if it is monthly, amount equals P into 1 plus R by 1200 into 12t. I hope you are able to make out how we are writing the formula. Now most of the times, because we have an exponent t, it is better if we learn a little bit of shortcuts. So let's look into the rate of interest, r%. If it is 4, then 5, then 8, 10, 12 and 20. This will be the common rate of interest, and generally time is given 2 years. Then what happens is, we already know amount is principal into 1 plus r by 100 power t. Now let's take the example of 4%. So this is p into 1 plus 4 by 100 power 2. This is p into 1.04 square. Now at this point, if you can memorize this value, it's more easy to calculate. So let me write down the decimal to the power of 2 expansions. For 4% we will have 1.04 square, which is 1.0816, and when it is 5% it is 1.05 square, this is 1.1025. For 8 it is 1.1664. 10 means 1.1 square, this is 121, so 1.21, and then 12%, 1.12 square is 1.2544, and 1.2 whole square is 144, so 1.44. Try to memorize this so that the calculations will be much faster. Alright, this is sufficient to start with, and before we get into the questions, let me also give you the different type of questions asked from this topic. The first one is basic formula based questions. Here they give all the values, we just need to pick up the formula, substitute the values, and directly we'll get the answer. The second type is correlation between simple and compound interest. Basically they'll give you simple interest and they'll ask you to find the principal. That particular amount is used in the compound interest for the rest of the calculation, something of this sort. And the third type is we are asked to calculate the difference between the compound interest and the simple interest. Alright, now let's get into the type 1, that is basic formula based question. Here we have a question: the compound interest accrued on an amount at the end of 2 years at the rate of 12% interest per annum is rupees 2862. what is the amount? For this, let's write the given data first. They have given the compound interest as rupees 2863, then rate is 12%, time is 2 years, and principal is something which we need to find. For this, we already know the formula. Compound interest is amount minus principal. This is P into 1 plus R by 100 power T minus P. So this is, if I take P common, this is 1 plus R by 100 power T minus 1. Now let's substitute these values. 2863 equals P into 1 plus 12 by 100 power 2 minus 1. This is 2863 equals P into 1.12 square minus 1. Now this value we already know. When we substitute, when we solve, we get P as rupees 11250. That is option A. Let's do one more practice. The compound interest earned by Suresh on certain amount at the end of 2 years at the rate of 8% per annum was rupees 1414.4. What was the total amount that Suresh got back at the end of 2 years in the form of principal plus interest? So here in this question, they are basically asking us to calculate the amount. Okay, let's do this. First, let me write the given data. The compound interest is 1414.4, rate is 8%, time is 2 years, amount we don't know. But before we get into the amount, first we need to know the principal. So this is also unknown. Now the formula is compound interest is P into 1 plus R by 100 power T minus 1. This is in whole bracket. Now when we substitute the values, 1414.4 equals P into 1 plus 8 by 100 power 2 minus 1. This is 1414.4 equals P into 1.08 square minus 1. Again, this value we already know. When we solve this, this whole thing comes out to be rupees 8500. But this is not the answer. We are asked to calculate the amount, and we know that amount is principal plus compound interest, that is 8500 plus 1414.4, that is 9914.4. Don't forget to memorize the squares of decimals like 1.04 whole square, 1.08 whole square, so on. This will definitely speed up your calculations.